Hello, everyone. My name is Oluwatobi Okoma, and I'm part of Quest Services. Today, I'm here to break down and simplify, also demonstrate how Icfr implementation and review templates works. Yes, I've received a lot of feedback that the initial demo wasn't clear enough. So this section is all about making Icfr easier to understand and also to be able to apply and strengthen our internal control in our organization to stay compliant. So let's dive in and make Icfr simple, effective, and actionable. There we have three packages for you as it is on the screen. We have the awareness training slides. We have the Icfr self-assessment checklist. We also have a review package, audit review package for auditors. So these three contents will be briefly explained before we go to the demo proper. The first one, which is the training slides, helps in awareness of what Icfr is all about, and it gives organization what the idea and what to do when it comes to Icfr implementation. So we have a material to support our content as it is on the screen. We have material to support our content on the screen as it is. So that is one of the package in which we have for you at Quest Services. So let's briefly look at the other one, which is the self-assessment checklist. Let me briefly talk about that before we move into the demo proper. Yes, this self-assessment checklist allow employees and also department to evaluate their current internal control. And then this helps them to identify whether all necessary financial controls are in place and also whether they are working effectively. So the checklist is used at the beginning of Icfr implementation process to assess the current practices and also to identify gaps and deficiencies. So it's also in a quick way to ensure that your businesses is meeting regulatory requirements and also other reporting standards. So when we talk about the third package, which is the review templates, the review template is used by auditors, external consultants to document results of the self-assessment done in-house and to track actions taken in order to resolve identified deficiencies. Yes, they are used to enable them to be able to test all what has been implemented in the organization. So by using these templates, review templates, it helps auditors to be able to report findings to the senior manager and the board, and it also helps them to create a report as well. So together, this checklist and review template are part of continuous feedback that ensures that internal control are consistently evaluated, which leading to the strong financial reporting and also compliance with the regulation guidelines, which is Icfr. So let's quickly dive into the demo proper. In the presentation slide, we have a lot embedded there. So this is just a demo. We just have to go through it. We have everything you need in order to ensure that your employee is being carried along and let them be enlightened on what Icfr is all about. So we have the format here too. This is how the format would look like. This is the real life demonstration. So this is how it will look like. So from a package, you will be entitled to have this as part of your package. So let me quickly unshare to go to the next package, which is the self-assessment checklist. The self-assessment checklist. Yes, from the self-assessment checklist, we have um, the the framework broken down into principles because the guidelines that guide ICFR is a COSO framework, which has 5 components as it is on the screen. And these components were broken down into 17 principles, and which is going to be followed by management to carry out ICFR. So this is a robust package for management, internal control, finance, and other departments to be able to successfully assess themselves when we talk of ICFR. So on this template, in this template, we have already designed the template that suits all. At a click of a button, you will see what you need to do. You see what you need to do as an individual, as a personnel, and it goes on and on like that. We have the principle here embedded, which is 17 principle. So all you need to do is just to follow through and make your recommendations and also your findings on your review or your sex assessment review. So this is basically for internal use of for the management to assess themselves on ICFR. So with the third package, let me quickly unshare this. We have for the auditors, we call that review processes, audit review processes. Yeah, this is the dashboard. This is a dashboard of how self-review look like. It's the dashboard encompass all what you need to do on this template. So we have the 17 principle summarized here. The CE acronyms here represent the control environment, which is the P1. We have the control environment P2, which is the principle 2. We have the control environment P3, which is principle 3. As I've said, that ICFR is being guided by COSO, and COSO has 5 components split into 17 principles, which will be followed by people carrying out ICFR to be able to be in compliance. So after all this, let's just take an example. This is an acronym here. So all this represents a name. You can see MA is monitoring activities, which is P16. So we have the last one, which is monitoring activities principle 17. So let's quickly use this as an example. Let's go to principle by a click of a button. You are in the first template. What are you going to do? As an auditor, what you need to do, what you need to test is here for you. The document you need to ask is there, and also the testing, the area you need to report, because your finding has to be reported. You have to have a reporting template. So immediately you have done your findings here. Let's use the first one as an example, the code of conduct. Which department are you going to ask for this? Let me go here. What to check? You need to check the integrity of their organization, the integrity and the ethical value. So what are you going to ask? What are the questions you need to ask? Because you need to ask questions. So what are the questions you need to ask that lead us here? So you need to ask them, has the company created a code of conduct that defines the values and ethical? The HR, which department is going to answer that? Is the HR department. The HR department will answer that. So what are the documents you need to answer? The code of conduct document, then what are you going to test? Because you need to test as an auditor. So what are you going to test? You test to confirm the approval by the board, whether it's communicated to all employees and that the employees sign off as acknowledgement of how they understand it. That is acknowledgement of understanding. So also, you look at anytime, anywhere you now see any lapses, that is, you need to make your own, you need to have your own improvements, area of improvement and the strength. Those you have to report it. So how are you going to report it? By a click of a button, it will take you to what? To the report area. So this is where the report area is. You are going to say during our review, we observe that there is a lack of easy access to code of conduct for all employees. So, and on it goes like you go back to the dashboard at a click of a button, you go back to PE1 to do other findings. So yes, you could have discovered its strengths too, because as you are reporting the weakness, you are also reporting the strength as well. But by a click of a button too, it will take you to where you are going to report the strengths of the organization. So you see comprehensive, up-to-date, and well-communicated code of conduct. You go back to, you do the same for P2, P3, P4, and so on. So at the end of everything, all you should have what and what to report on. You report on their weaknesses, and then you recommend at the end of everything else. So let's quickly do a walkthrough test. A walkthrough test is one of the vital areas in which has to be carried out when we talk of Icfr review. As an auditor, you do a walkthrough test. So how are you going to do that? You need to know the organization you are working on. You need to know the organization you are reviewing. From there, from the meetings you have done, you'll be able to get where their risk area is. So it's from their risk area you'll be able to know the departments you will concentrate on. From internal control, what you have discussed so far, they will tell you this is what they do. Let's use the manufacturing company as an example. In a manufacturing company, their risk area is mostly their inventories, also the machines they use. So from there, you should be able to narrow it down to your entity and what they do. And what they do, what are those things that can affect the bottom line of the organization? That is how you do your walkthrough test. So from there, you'll be able to pick like 2, 3, 4, 5 departments for a walkthrough test. So what are you going to do under walkthrough test? Let's quickly, at a click of a button, you take it to where walkthrough test is. So from here, how are you going to perform your walkthrough test as an auditor? Then it will tell you what to check. You are checking their process flow, because if you don't know what they are doing, there's no way you can review them. You first download, you digest what they're doing. You have your mind will be like, what is their control design? What is the segregation of duty there? So from there, you ask a question. You ask them a question here. What are the steps in their processes? What are their system like? Then what are you going to request for you first for their SOP? Some have process maps. Some have work flow diagram. So it depends on organization. Some don't even know what is SOP, but definitely they will know what workflow is. So you need to ask consecutively in case they are not aware of one. So immediately you add this, you should be able to sit back and download what their processes is all about. So from there, you will be able to test. That will lead us to the next column, which is testing. So you test it, you review what they have done to the standard, which is the SOP or the workflow diagram. So from there, you should be able to identify your gaps as well. You see, you should be able to identify your gaps as well. Their control strengths and the area of their strength. Also, you'll be able to advise them the action plan. So how are you going to report your walkthrough test? By clicking a button, it will take you down to where you are going to report. Now here, you are going to categorize your findings into various levels. You know, we have some findings that are critical to the organization because they can affect the bottom line. Then we have some that are significant too. We have some that are less significant, and we have some that are major. that are minor, sorry. So all these have to be categorized by you depending on the weight of the, 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 the work done and also what you have identified so far. So from there, you'll be able to rate it. You know, from my sample, I picked production, inventory, HR, and finance. So these are the departments I'm working on because I've already observed that the company I'm reviewing, this is where their risk area is. So what am I going to report it? Fine, I've went through their workflow processes. So here I've been able to document by the right-hand side what and what they do. So here I've seen in their SOP or their workflow chart that receive and inspect inventory. Receive and inspect inventory. Inspect and match received materials with purchase order. Then what is their approval like? Inventory received over 5 million required managers approval. So in their SOP, I could have read that, okay, any fund above 5 million naira needs an approval. So look at my own recommendation on the left-hand side here. Tested inventories. A total of 100 inventory items were reviewed to verify the accuracy of the figure posted into the system, ensuring proper inventory tracking and the correct issuance of receipts to brokers and agencies. So see my whole verification outcome. The inventory records were confirmed to be accurate. So it shows that all what I've verified so far is accurate. So in your own case, might be the other way around. You have to list all your findings and what you have observed so far. So you can see the standard and the actual beside each other. So you do that for all what you have observed so far after you have rated, because this is the rating here. Then you explain further by telling them this is what you have observed so far, and this is the reason why this is less significant, this is significant, and this is critical. So you do that for all your walkthrough tests and recording all what you have observed after going through their SOP or the workflow. So let's briefly look at, let's go back. We can go back through the dashboard. Immediately you scroll down, scroll up. You see, go back to the dashboard. So from that dashboard, you'll be able to see everything you have done here. This is a practical scenario using a manufacturing complaint. So you can also digest that too. So we have an implementation report. This is your implementation report. So it has to be on a PowerPoint. So after all you have done all your findings, you have been able to carry out your walkthrough test, then you report this on your PowerPoint. So what you just need to do is just to do a copy and paste to a PowerPoint slide, while this retain in this place in case you were unable to get the PowerPoint. So this now serve as your master copy. So this can be what can be in your server or where you keep documents. It will be like a master document. So anything you need here, you can just have access to it and copy elsewhere. So we also have, let me quickly talk about the implementation flow. This is how the flows look like, what Icfr wants us to do. He has told us you have to do the coverage, the area of strength, the weakness, the rating, and also the definition, the summary of findings. So this is the workflow of what we need to do when we talk of Icfr. You can go back to the dashboard. So from this now, you'll be able to carry out successfully what Icfr is all about. This is a question services. We have put this together for your use. It is users friendly. You can see the way I'm navigating. So when you have a package, this navigation will be enabled on your system for you to also navigate the way I'm doing. And this is an automation done by question services. And we want you to patronize us for this. It is very easy to use. This is all what you need. You don't need any other material anywhere. So thank you very much for listening, and thank you. We'll be expecting your calls. Thank you.